Hello everyone and welcome to DM Talk, episode 45. Wow, where has the time been? Well, it's been a bit. Anyways, I love DM Talk. I wish I could be doing it more and more. Talk about everything about role playing in general. Go from there. Tonight, I want to have an open forum. I have some things I want to talk about, but if you want to talk about a certain subject matter, feel free to chime in and put things in the comment box. Let me know. Let me make sure this comment is working. The comments are working. There we go. I had a little issue streaming with the comments. Let me tell you what happened. What happened was I used Prism Live and the resolution was higher than it should have been. So I went ahead and dropped the resolution, and I also dropped my frames per second as well to make sure things kind of jived, and they did. And from now on, ever since I made those adjustments, everything is good, and I'm glad it works. So with that being said, I'm streaming as Henry Knight for some reason on Facebook, but that's okay. That's totally cool. I'm part of the Playerole team, and that is okay. I guess that's cool. Either way, tonight we're going to talk about a few things that I have in mind, and hopefully you guys will agree with me. If not, chime in, let me know. Tonight is a very important night when it comes to DM Talk, and I was really thought about this because what's the name of the episode, is What Now? After you're done your campaign, what's next? Do you do another one? Do you go from there? Do you play the same game? Those are thoughts that come across your mind, especially if you're the referee, game master, dungeon master. Those are the things that come across your mind because it's important. It really is, because what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What game are you going to play? Getting a group together? You want to start a session 0? Or not even a session 0. Play fantasy, play another type of fantasy. An OSR, maybe Daggerheart. Maybe Dungeons and Dragons is not your thing, or Daggerheart. You have those folks. If you want to play that type of game, you can very well play it. Now, let me tell you something. Right now, I'm not going to get into the debacle of what happened to Dungeons and Dragons and the company that owns it and so forth. I'm not going to get into that, but I want to get into the heart. And I love fantasy. I cannot stress, I can say this over and over again. I love fantasy. Dungeons and Dragons is my heart. I love it. A long time ago when I was younger, yes, I'm an old guy. When I was younger, I used to play a lot of Star Wars, Vampire the Masquerade, stuff like that, Shadowrun, Earth Dawn, and those were great games. Man, I love those games. And I'm not saying those games are bad, per se. And Dungeons and Dragons, back then, I had a bad taste in my mouth. Let me tell you, I don't know if I told you this story, but I want to tell you a story long ago where I got my books and they were taken away from me because I sort of got into faith 100%, and by that I mean is, where you can't do certain things and playing Dungeons and Dragons. You gotta remember, back in the day, Dungeons and Dragons wasn't perceived as a very holy place. So back then, those books were I gave them up. I shouldn't say taken away. I gave them up. I made a choice in life, and I made them up. I gave them away. I said, you know, it's not. We're good, but I made a mistake. And what I'm saying is, I went to other games. I went from D&D. I went, okay, D&D's gone, so let me try another fantasy avenue. And I did Earth Dawn. Earth Dawn really helped, and it was. And it's not like I'm an alcoholic or anything. I'm just saying that it helped because it's something I love to do, role playing, and it just opened up another avenue, and that avenue was Earth Dawn, and I had a great group of guys and gals, and today, you know, we all are different parts of the United States. One is not in the United States, but you know, I love them to death, and I wish they were here to play, and to experience Playerole and the table and the group that I have now, because they're really good people. Now, what I'm going to say with this, when I first started, you know, as I said, you know, I gave up those D&D books because I went into, you know, you go to church and all that, and back then, like I said, you know, D&D wasn't the good place to be. You know, the devil's work. And you know, when you have different kinds of devils and all that type of stuff, and creatures in Dungeons and Dragons, and you do stuff like that. Back in the day, it was like, whoa, shame on you shouldn't be playing that. So yeah, I'm laughing about it because it's you look at it as a different direction. It's role playing. Role playing is an extension of your imagination. I love to write. I love to extend my imagination and into a group of players so they can have fun and enjoy themselves. I'm saying way too many times. I'm sorry. So, with that being said, that was a big part of my life, and I really, if I can go back in time, would I give up those books? Absolutely not. Because I went ahead and bought other books. I rebought them. I rebought them because ultimately I'm a gamer. I'm a role player. I love to role play, and that's what I do. So if you tell me to get rid of those books, I'll be like, yeah, I'll get rid of them for a little bit and I'll get them right back. So in a way, I'm kind of like an alcoholic. It's an addiction, right? It's some form of an addiction. So I'm gonna buy those books again. And either way, say it how you will, evil or not. In my opinion, it's not. It's an extension of your imagination. Role playing, you read, it puts your mind in different avenues. And it's not evil at all. It's not. There's a saying that I go by, life is what you make of it. And if you do things that are evil, it's all on you. Don't blame the creator of the books or the books. It's all on you. So if I have these tools to create a fantasy game that I write, and if people are playing in my game, it's not evil. It's because it's something that I love to do, and it's a talent, skill, whatever you want to call it, and you want to project that to other players, and they're all going to have fun at the same time. Now, is that considered evil? Absolutely not. It's not evil. I can debate this with anyone, a pastor, a priest, or whatnot. It doesn't matter. I will debate it. It is not evil. Life is what you make of it. You know, it can be good or bad, and if you perceive it evil, it will be evil, because you're the one that's been making it evil. If there's evil sequences in the game, it's just a game. You're playing Monopoly, for example, right? You're playing all about money. Oh, you are all about greed because you're playing Monopoly. You're a banker. You're wealthy. No. First of all, Monopoly teaches you how to count. if you're a banker, you pass go and so forth. It teaches you a lot of things. These games teaches you a lot of things. Dungeons and Dragons is a stress reliever. Granted, there's stress in the game, yes, but role-playing in general, it's a stress reliever. You're in a different place for 4.5 hours, and anybody tells me that it's not, you're wrong. I'm going to disagree with you. And you can pull out any book you want, and I will tell you, it is A, it's not evil, B, it's an extension of your imagination, and C, it's all about fun. And everyone here at the table that I have at the table see it that way. Now, you might have people that I know in my life, they're going to be like, Henry, I saw your episode 45 of DM Talk, and I disagree with you. If you disagree with me, put it down in the comments, and we'll talk about it. I'll break away to what I'm talking about right now, and we can talk about it. I don't have problems like that. I will tell you that, guys, role-playing, in a sense, gives children an imagination. We create. You want to be a writer? It helps you out. You want to be an artist? It helps you out. That's what role-playing does. It helps you extend your imagination as a writer, as an artist, whatever avenue. If you want to be an actor, per se, it'll help you there too, because that's what role-playing is. No one is telling you to go ahead and make a different voice and act it out. Nobody's telling you. If you want to do that, then it's up to you. But if somebody tells me that the game is evil, that you're doing bad things, no. I'd rather have a group of people having fun in my place, in my table. We all have fun. And for 4.5 hours, we're in a fantasy world. We're in space. We're adventuring in our minds. We're not doing drugs. We're not killing anybody. We're not stabbing anybody. We are having a good time. The safe way. Yeah, we're going to order food. Yeah, we're going to grab drinks. But we're all in a safe location, having a good time. That's what role-playing is. If you want to call it a geek thing, by all means, I will take that. I will wear a shirt that says Mr. Geek, Prime #1. I will wear that all day because that's who I am. Now, getting back, as I started the show, I said about the Dungeons and Dragons debacle. The whole situation there with the owners of the company and all that stuff. Now, you have a right to play the game how you want it, homebrew, and so forth. It's your job as a DM to create, to change things, and your group together agree on those things. So why is Dungeons and Dragons taking a plunge? Why? And I see it that way. You see it on streaming. You see it on online. A lot of people are talking about it. Why is the game going down? That's because people want to see different things. They want to play different things. Yeah, the company could have done negative things, and they have. But people want to play different things, new avenues, and it's okay to do that. If you want to play Daggerheart, by all means, play Daggerheart. If, like I said before, if you want to play Cyberpunk, Vampire the Masquerade, Warhammer, Heroescape, per se, you can go ahead and do that. One of the major things that I love about the community, no matter where you go, and before I continue, I want to tell you a story. I went to the gas station, and I saw a group of guys. They were behind me. And a group of guys, one guy had a forearm, he had leather on his forearm, and he had this leather belt. And on his side, he had a pouch, and it wasn't more a medieval pouch, but it was, just a normal pouch you would wear, military-ish, right? And he had high boots, long brown hair, and his friend had like a black cape with astrological symbols in the back. And I, cool, huh? Well, I knew that they were a group of cosplay players. They were going to play a game somewhere. So my daughter, my 8-year-old, turns around because we're getting those little toys, the Labubu, those little goofy toys. So she looks at me and she goes, pointing at the guy. So we go up to the cashier and I buy the Labubu, and I turn around and I see these dudes, and they're talking about the dolls that I got for my daughter. So we leave the gas station. So as I approach the vehicle, my vehicle, these guys are walking across the street, and I pull in my vehicle and I go around the gas station, and I hit the light and I look, and there is this house on the corner. There's a lot of people dressed up, and I'm thinking, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. They're cosplaying it. They're doing gaming things. So either that or they're doing a rave. What type of rave would have a medieval hat or a pointed hat, and they're all like, yeah, let's do it. So they were there having a good time, and like my group, every other Saturday we have a good time. Everybody's allowed to have a good time. Now, guys, what do I mean by all this? There's a message at the end of the story, and I'm getting there. I'm almost done with this sequence. Just a little bit, bear with me. The thing is, when you're role-playing, it's an extension of your imagination. You have your group of friends and you have a good time. And I mentioned the company did evil deeds in the beginning. They went ahead and pulled you away, kind of as if somebody hurt you. Is somebody hurting your feelings? When somebody hurts your feelings, you're like, oh man, you're a shithead, or they start pointing at you and they start making fun of you. You're hurt, right? The community was hurt by the company that makes Dungeons and Dragons. They're hurt. I'm not going to point any fingers. I'm not going to get into that. You could watch dozens of videos on what happened. I'm not going to get into that. But today, I'm going to mention something that's connected to that, and I want to tell you the reason behind all this. So, with that, you're hurt. So when you're hurt, you're downtrodden. And today I was thinking, man, this is going to be a very heartfelt episode. I don't know what I'm going to do. You feel downtrodden. You're depressed, and you're like, why? Why does this have to happen? Folks, what I'm trying to say is it doesn't have to be that way. D&D, 50 years, man. It's a long time. And there's a lot of source books, a lot of material. You can go out and get them yourself and have fun. But here's the thing. Just because it's down doesn't mean they're out. But you, as the head of the table, being the DM, referee, or whatever you want to call yourself, you have that right to say, you know what? I want to play something different, something fresh, something new, something that will draw more attention. That's why people are flooding to Daggerheart. That's why people are flooding to OSRs. That's why people are flooding other avenues of role-playing. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that D&D is spiraling to the point where they're going to crash and burn. The community, what all these companies don't realize, is the people like us. We're the ones that make the game. All those rules, all those stories are just pages in a book. And once you buy that book, purchase that book, open the book, and start reading, then it comes to life. And I think the problem is with Dungeons and Dragons is there's so many people that want to do too many things. There's a saying, keep it simple, stupid. And instead of keeping it simple, they want to go ahead and do this and do that, make it bigger and better. And all they had to do is keep it simple. You remember the kids in Stranger Things? By the way, I am watching Stranger Things. I'm on season 2, and after I get done with this episode, I'm going to continue. I believe it's the last episode of season 2 for Stranger Things. And I'm going to just speed watch them until I get to season 4 and then wait for season 5. But either way, I don't want to go digress. But anyways, I was saying, the kids in Stranger Things, when they were behind the screen, Mike was behind the screen, and he was delivering the game, delivering the story. Everybody had fun. Everybody had fun. There was no glamour and glitz. There was no, digital format. There were just paper, pencil, dice, and they had miniatures, very few, and they had their minds. That's what made Dungeons and Dragons fun. They kept it simple, and it was fun. Now, it's exacerbated to the point where the fun is gone. So why are more and more YouTubers, streamers all over doing their own thing and changing their game? Because they want to take their game into other avenues. And there's nothing wrong with that. In end, the only way to bring D&D back to where it was is we have to do it as a community, folks. We got to do it as a community. We said it with the OGL situation, and now we're continuing to tell that company that, hey, this is where we want to go. They have to see it. I see it. The community sees it. And that's very important to understand, because without the community, the game is nothing. Without the community, Daggerheart is nothing. Without the community, all those books, all those role-playing books out there, even those OSRs, they're nothing. So you, me, your players, people all around the world that role-play, listen to me. Lock arms. Together, we can make it happen. Together, we can move forward. We can role-play any game we want to. We could say D&D is number 1, or we could say Daggerheart's number 1, or we can say Cyberpunk is number 1. It doesn't matter, as long as we do it together, as we role play. You look across the room, and what do you see? You see a bunch of guys and gals role playing, rolling the dice, getting mad about a situation, being happy, crying over a deceased NPC. Folks, this is a time and a place to do it better, make it bigger, It's not the words in the book. It's your words, it's her words, it's everyone's words. They're the ones. I'm the one. He's the one, she's the one, everyone. Everyone. We make the game. They don't make the game. We do. Because the only way a company's going to know is where when you purchase that book and when you have that book at your table, you read it, you enjoy it, you play it, and the next person does the same thing. Then they'll realize, oh, what do we do right? Leave it alone. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't go into making it bigger and better when all you have to do is let it be. Let it flourish. I would have never came out with the 2024 version. I'm sorry. There are people that are going to be like, Henry, I want to say, put it in the comments, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you no. I would have never came out with it. I would have came out with different source books, expand the world, and go from there. World build. Keep it simple, stupid. 5e 2014 was beautiful. Why change it? That's my opinion. So, where do we go from here? I'm going to make some changes next season, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to talk to my guys, so it's not completely official yet. So I want to talk to my guys, and I talked to one of them today, and gave me feedback. He said that they'll give it a shot, but I'm going to do like one-shots, 6-part story arc for D&D. I want to have at least 3 ongoing story arcs, but they're short. Instead of having a long season, a long campaign. But I will be doing other games as well, like Cyberpunk and Vampire and Daggerheart and so forth. I want to be doing those other games because I know that the community will be doing that as well. And I'm all about the community, I'm all about locking arms, I'm all about people in this role-playing community. We need to move forward. And by doing that is we need to experience not just Dungeons and Dragons, but other games as well. And I know people have already. I'm probably late coming from behind, but I'm really enjoying the fact that D&D has brought me to this place. Season 2 so far has been a blast. I love it. Love the group that I have, and we're gonna keep on trucking. And I love the chance to be doing this. I love to do this. I love to get behind the camera and talk to y'all and DM talk and recap. And so you all know that Creatures of the Realm will be coming back now that I have the opportunity to do different things with Prism. I will definitely make things a little bit flashier. So look for that in the future. So season 3, so you all know, we will be doing something a little different, and hopefully you all enjoy it. Now, in end, subscribe, like, let me know what you think in the comments. I can take criticism, good or bad, let me know. Subscribe and like, let everyone know about Playerole. You know, I'm up and coming. We're trying to, rise above it all, and let us know what you think. Yeah, I have a great group of guys and gals, and every bi-weekly, join us at 7 p.m. Central. I'll see you tomorrow night for episode 28 of the Kitsune. See you.